Tavu kathamritam tapta jivanam kavibhiritam kalmasapaham shravanamangalam srimadatatam bhuvi grinanti ye bhurida janaha. The nectar of thy words is the life for those who are scorched by the world. Words which have been uttered by the knowers of truth, which wipe out sins, the very hearing of which is beneficial, which are beautiful, pleasing to the ear, pleasing to the heart, which are inexhaustible. Those who recount them on earth are the givers of plenty. Om, peace, peace, peace. Good evening. It's nice to have the opportunity to discuss and read and discuss from the Narada Bhakti Sutras, the aphorisms of devotion by Narada, Narada's Bhakti Sutra. So, Naradaji was giving the definition of bhakti, his own definition and what other teachers also said about devotion. Devotion is like this, devotion is like this. So we read that according to Shandilya, bhakti is devotion to God as one's own self and renouncing everything. And then Narada feels that devotion is surrender of all activities to God and extreme anguish if he is forgotten. And then Vyasa, according to Vyasa, bhakti means attraction to worship, etc. And Gorgo, another teacher of devotion, according to Gorgo, attraction for stories of God's play as incarnations, that is devotion. So many definitions we have already gone through, we have read. And Narada is telling, Osti evam evam. This is meaning is there are examples of such forms of devotion. Don't think that these teachers of devotion, acharyas, they have said something which is not possible, which is not found. It is just a fiction, stories. It is not that. This kind of devotion is there. Where? Jatha brajo gopikanam, as we find in the lives and behavior of the Brajo gopis, these gopikas, these milkmaids of Brajo. Their love for God we have seen. We have seen how wonderful it is. So Naradaji is trying to strengthening his words that I am telling, no, it is not possible. That kind of devotion we don't see. Come sit there. So Naradaji is telling, Osti evam evam. No, it is not that. It is a fantasy. I am telling something which is impossible. It is not that. It is there. This examples are there. Where? Jatha Brajo Gopikanam, as found in the lives of the gopis of Brajo. And then Naradaji is telling that even there was no blame of forgetfulness of the greatness of the object of love. These gopis of the Vrindavan, they loved God like their own, a very beloved one. But at the same time, they were not forgetful of the greatness of God. They were not loving any human being in any human form. Then it will be marred. It is debased. It is not that. What we find in the society, mother's love also very pure, but mother loves her own child only. A mother can face even a tiger, a lion, can sacrifice her love, but only for my child. That this physical level, biological relation is there. But for the gopis, they loved Sri Krishna as God. They knew God, that Sri Krishna was not an ordinary man. So, in this way, he was telling that gopis did not forget. It is not a physical love and affection and attraction that we feel. It is not that gopis said, sang in the manner it is there in the Bhagavad, that you are not an ordinary person. We don't know that. You are not merely the joy of the gopis. You are not only meant for the gopis. We love you, but you are for all. We know that. You are the inner controller of all beings. It is as the self that you are controlling all beings. For the protection of the earth, the Creator invoked you, and that is why you have been born in the dynasty of the Yadus, and really you are that supreme reality, the supreme truth, and so we consider you as the apple of our eye, owing to our love. So, during our last discourse, we have come up to this, just to have a little recapitulation, that Naradji was trying to establish that such para bhakti, supreme devotion, is not absent, is not impossible in this world, that it is beyond the capacity of the human beings. It is a storage you are talking, no. In the lives of the gopis, it was found, and they did not love as their paramour or somebody else, as we find in our human life. Their love for God was so divine. They knew that it was their surrender, their love, their attraction was not something physical. As I told, that yoga means this union of the Jivatman. Gopis used to think themselves as the Jivatman, and Sri Krishna is that Paramatman. It is not the union of two bodies, two physical entities, Gopis and Sri Krishna. It is the union of Atman, limited with this Man, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankar, this individual soul, merging into, trying to be united with the cosmic soul. So that is in the background of the Gopi Prem. Gopi, it was not something physical level love, it was extreme love in them. Then it becomes a kind of perversion. If gopis being wives of other people, loving another person, another human being, Sri Krishna, then it would be a kind of perversion. There is no sublimity in that. So he was telling our Naradji. And now he himself is also, there is a question that it is a simple fact of experience, that attachment. Yes, you can say it is a kind of attachment. In devotion there should not be any attachment. The gopis had their deep attachment for Sri Krishna. Other than Krishna, they could not think of anything. Is not it bad? Anything, attachment we know in this world, it is bad. It is degenerating. Yes, outwardly it appears that it was an attachment, but actually it is not. To whomsoever that attachment may be, it binds. If that attachment of the gopis was towards Krishna, then the gopis must have been in bondage, and that is not an ideal state. Now this objection is from the viewpoint of people who have not tasted this kind of love. As I told, that we have to use this, our mind and our words very carefully, because we are talking a kind of love which is divine and most pure, the purest of all love, with the words, language that we are used to, that we are we have experienced, or we are experiencing in our lives or in the society. We do not have that divine love, no idea, and we are discussing about the divine love with the words which is used for our ordinary human love. So it is very difficult. That is why people in the description of the Bhagavata, where this Sri Krishna's love for the gopis and gopis' love for Sri Krishna is described. Many people say it is vulgar, it is not good, and many get a different kind of sensation in that, in a physical level, a sensual feeling. So I will come to that. Sri Ramakrishna, Swami Vivekananda said, if your mind is not pure, you will not understand that kind of divine love, which is, there is no body there. We experience the love for one body to another body, one individual to another individual, particularly for the opposite sex. It is not that kind of thing. It is something which we cannot think of. So it is very difficult to describe that kind of divine love with the this ordinary words of us that we use for ordinary love in human beings. Narada says that the attachment towards God is not to be discarded. It is not to be avoided. Why? You may say that it is also a cause of bondage, but no, it is not. The object of the attachment here is very different from ordinary forms of attachment. The gopis had attachment for Sri Krishna, and Sri Krishna is not an ordinary person. So this attachment does not bind as usual attachments in earthly sense do. But then let the argument be put forth like this: if it happens in the case of other forms of attachment, why not here also? A further reply is given in the form of an illustration. Take the case of attachment towards holy men. What happens when we get attached to a holy man? Do we feel debased, degenerated, or even though we may approach a holy man with not that pure mind, after having sadhu sangha, holy company, and mixing with the holy person, our mind also becomes uplifted. The mantra I stated, quoted from the Bhagavata, Tava Katham Rindu Taptu Shravana Mangalam. Even though I am not a devotee of yours, God, but somebody is reading or discussing your divine play, your lila in different incarnations, and I am passing through there and just not intentionally I am hearing, it is coming in my ears, it will cause good. So this mixing with by attraction for the holy people, even though it is a human being, that also uplifts our mind. Sri Ramakrishna said, all desire you have to, Holy Mother also said, my child, if you want to be liberated, you can have now itself. Give up all vasanas. Nirvasana hole ekhoni hoy. I am quoting Holy Mother Sarada Devi. You can become nirvasana, no desire, completely devoid of any desire in the mind, then you are that, what you are. It is desire that binds us with the world. If there is no desire I have in my mind, then I am free. And Holy Mother is telling that it is possible now itself to become free if you can become desireless. Bhagavan Buddhadev also he said, Trishna, Tanha, this, from desire, all these problems and suffering comes. So, Narji is giving this, that gopis' love is not that ordinary love. And even if you think that it is ordinary love for holy people, then also you will find that although the devotee's mind is not that pure, but after mixing with the holy people, being with them, listening to their instructions, gradually our mind becomes uplifted. I have myself seen so many in this last 50 years. How many people in the beginning say something atheist, not even believing in God, not in any ethics, morality, but gradually, so many people, they changed. They are not changed, they became transformed. after coming, visiting the temples, listening to something, mixing with some holy people, sadhu, santos, seeing other devotees, seeing that other devotees, householders, they are also living, trying to live a higher life. Despite they have everything in this worldly life, they could enjoy their life in a different way, but still they are striving hard to live a higher life. So, living with them, they are also devotees, other devotees whose mind were not that a little bit uplifted, very ordinary, and mind was roaming in the lower levels of the state, mental state. They also gradually become transformed and know, yes, there is a higher purpose of life. Everything is not in this physical level. There, they also gradually become uplifted. So Narada is telling that is the experience of ordinary people. The holiness of the holy man elevates the person who has got attachment towards him. Sadhu Santos, many people, they become, no, don't do that. Girish Chandra Ghosh was such a, you can say, a rogue, so dirty character. He himself said. But after visiting Sri Ramakrishna, coming to Sri Ramakrishna, how he became a sinner converted to, transformed into a saint. When people wanted to know about Sri Ramakrishna, he used to, with pride, used to say, it is not a false pride, with authority, he used to say, don't go to know about Sri Ramakrishna to Rakhal, Noren, they are already pure. Sri Ramakrishna was just a catalyst for them, it is their presence, they are already pure. Come and see here what Sri Ramakrishna can do. By the grace of Sri Ramakrishna, this Girish Ghosh, who was a rogue, now you see, you have come to see me, and you see the change. The power of Sri Ramakrishna's purifying power of Sri Ramakrishna. If you want to see, prove, then don't go to Rakhal Noren. They are already pure souls. They have not done anything wrong. They are in presence of Sri Ramakrishna. They just got a lift towards the sublime. But come to me, know my life, see my activities previously prior to coming to Sri Ramakrishna, and see what I am now. So, Girish Chandra Ghosh used to go to take bath in the Ganges. People used to say, Girish, Babu, when Master was there, he requested you to go and take bath in the Ganges. It is very pure water. Gangabari, Brahmapari. It is as it were, it is melted Brahman. So, at that time you said, no, I don't need to take any Ganga bath. I will not go there. I will sit with you in front of you. Now, passing away of Master, you are visiting and going and taking bath in the Ganges. Now you understand the need of the bath in the Ganges? He said, no, it is not that. You are mistaken, my dear. I go to the Ganges and tell Mother Ganga, I have come not to be purified by you. I am already purified by Ramakrishna. I am giving my purity to you. See the audacity of a person. It is not a false pride. He believed in that Sri Ramakrishna was such a wonderful magnet that he has completely changed his life. It is called Parashpathar, the touchstone. Once it touches the ordinary base metal, iron or something, it becomes transformed into gold, like that. That is story in the Puranas. So, if you remain in the company of the holy people, that attachment does not bind, but it brings about salvation. Forgetting that Sri Krishna is the divine being, even otherwise, his greatness will elevate the gopis and will not bring them down, just as the company of holy men elevates a person. So, it is wonderful, this devotional path. The gopis may not have particularly in mind the greatness of Sri Krishna. Always it is difficult to serve. If mother thinks, Ma Radha, Ma Jashoda, mother of Sri Krishna, if always Jashoda thinks that Sri Krishna is a divine entity, not my son, then she will not be able to do the service with that affection, what is needed from a mother for the good of the child. She will be always in awe and she will be thinking what to do, what not to do. But it is not that they are completely forgetful of Sri Krishna's greatness. So there is a mother, suppose, and mother knows that he is my son or daughter, and he or she becomes very posted in a high post in the society, placed in a high post in the society. Mother treats the child as lovingly as she used to do, but at the same time she knows also that the position being held by my child is not an ordinary one. So in the case of God also, it is not that always they were aware of the greatness of Sri Krishna, that Sri Krishna is God, but they did not give much value in that. Gopis, they loved God, so they forgot anything of themselves. Nasti eva tasmin tat sukham sukhittam. Ordinary love is I love somebody else because I get joy in that. That is the world. People love each other, be it mother, son, others. It is very pure mother-son love. But still, mother loves her own child, her own son. So husband, wife, friend, everyone will see sister, brother, because we get joy in that. But in the case of God, it is not that divine love, this parabhakti, that I will become happy, that is I will love you. It is not that. Whether I become happy or not, it is not the question. I am not at all aware of my own happiness. My love is so deep for God that I am thinking of God's happiness always. That was there in the Vrindavan gopis, the milkmaid, cowherd girls, maids there. They used to love Sri Krishna in that way. They knew that Sri Krishna was not an ordinary person, a human being, that God has incarnated through that ultimate reality appearing in this body of Sri Krishna. But they did not put much value in that. Their mind is there, Sri Krishna needs some kind of service, some kind of seva. He wants to eat this, we will prepare that food. He enjoys this kind of dance, we will dance with. He enjoys playing flutes in presence of us, we will be there and he will play flute. So, whatever way Sri Krishna is happy, their sole aim was to do those things, to make Sri Krishna happy. It was not that they were feeling happy. For their happiness, they were doing that. So, this is, and this kind of love, that is how the gopis had attachment towards Sri Krishna, it made them free. Loving God, having this kind of attachment towards God, God's name, there are the stories in the, Sri Ramakrishna also gave, in the Mahabharata it is there. This Ramayana also it is there. This is Pampa Sarovar, this one lake. Ramchandraji, Lakshman, they are going. You see that crow is so devoted, is thirsty, always taking God's name. Ram, 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 it's telling. Going, it is so thirsty that it wants to take the water, going near the water body, this lake, but coming back again to its nest. Why? Now the moment it will start drinking water, it cannot take God's name. It is a devotee, crow, bird. So, when one becomes devotee, he or she completely forgets himself or herself, his or her own joy. That is parabhakti. This definition is that how is the parabhakti, how is the supreme devotion? Supreme devotion is that we find in the lives of gopikas, in the Braja gopis. You don't believe, you take it. So, these stories are going on. Narada says that the criteria for devotion is not satisfied here. What is the true criteria? The true criteria is not seeking one's own happiness, but making the other happy. This is the characteristic of divine love. In our ordinary love, human love, we love so long I get joy from others, whatever it may be. Love for not only person to person, any house, bed, hotel, car. We love that much so long we get joy from it. The moment it gives trouble, we sell our so beautiful car, so loving, I used to love house, if I get something better, I leave this. It is not that. It is not for my satisfaction. This pure love, divine love, para-bhakti, is for the satisfaction of the object of my love. So, my beloved, that we should not forget. Earthly love, we find, if it is stopped, then there will be problem. In the Gita, Sri Krishna is telling Arjuna, you see, Sangat sanjayate kamo, kamat krodho vijayate, krodat bhavati sammohat, sriti vibhrama buddhi nashat pranashati. Step by step. Father, mother is telling, hey, why you are going there, that boy or girl? You are so infatuated. No, father, mother, no, why you are stopping? You become angry with father, mother. Because they are stopping you. Because you become happy. You feel happiness in presence of that boy or girl, your friend, who is father, mother, your best friend, your the greatest well-wisher. They are telling, don't do that. You cannot bear that. You are so angry that your buddhi, your intelligence does not work rationally. And gradually, in the Gita, Bhagavan is telling, if your buddhi, vivek or discriminative faculty is not working, you don't understand what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad, then it is like death. It is not a human life. It is not a life of honor. It is as it were you are dead, because you cannot take the right decision. What is the of joy in that kind of living without any understanding of differences between right and left? So it happens in worldly love. When it is stopped, anger will be there, unhappiness will be there, burning will be there, discriminative faculty will not work. People kill father, mother. There are instances, if the boys or girl, they are stopped for their some affairs with each other, father, mother is killed. It is there. So that never happens in the case of divine love. This is because the motive is not one's own joy, but to make the other happy. Absolute self-abnegation is the prime condition of divine love. When a devotee loves God, he doesn't want any return from him, but wants to give everything instead. That is the criteria that makes divine love absolutely different from any kind of earthly love. Even the most intense or the highest form of earthly love cannot equal with that divine love, because in the divine love there is completely, there is no selfishness. It is completely self-abnegation. I want nothing. Even mother's love is so pure. There also mother thinks, it is my child. When I will be old, when there will be no one, he or she, my child, will look after me, take care of me. It is there behind. A little bit underflow is there. But in the divine love, nothing is there. The other day, perhaps I told this story during another once Bhagavan Narayana was trying to test Narada. Narada had a little ego that I am the greatest devotee of God. So God said, Narada, God understood. Bhagavan said, Narada, I am suffering from headache. And so what happened? No, it's very painful. I cannot even open my eyes. And so what is the medicine? Bring my medicine. And so what is the medicine? Medicine is this dust of the feet from the genuine devotee. You see, bring it and give. Narada said, I am going. Immediately Narada thought of these gopis of Braja Gopikas. Let me go there, their devotion is pure. So when he was running in the Vrindavan, the gopis say, hey, Naradji, where are you running? Where are you going? I say, going to, how is our God? How is Bhagavan? How is our master? Oh, no, he is not good. Hey, he is not good and you are running away. What happened? Oh, no, he is suffering from a very bad headache. So where you are living, you are not taking care of me. I am going for medicine. What medicine? He said the dust of the feet of the genuine devotee. So then genuine devotee, why did not you give your? You are not a genuine devotee. Narada said, oh God, if it is not genuine, do you understand what will happen? Giving the dust of feet to the forehead of God. Then Gopi said, take, spreading their leg. Take as much as you can. Go quickly. Why you are going anywhere? You are giving your dust from the feet. Yes. If it is not genuine, then what will happen? What will happen will happen. You don't bother for that. You take the dust and give it. They are established in their highest devotion that we do not want anything else. Suffering, we will suffer. So what? If Bhagavan becomes, if my beloved becomes free of headache, he is happy, then even if I go and whole life I suffer in the hell, what is there? My joy is in the joy of my beloved. That is the pure love, and it is there in the lives of gopis. That is why Naradji said, the example is there, yatha brojo gopikanam. In the lives of gopis, we find all these things. Does this not show that there is something missing here, something which we do not find in the case of divine love? A devotee only gives and never expects any return from the beloved. This divine love, something is there. In our ordinary love, human love, common love, there is a business a little bit, but in the divine love, there is no question of any business, give and take. No, it is only giving and giving, no expectation. One day Sri Ramakrishna visited a religious society where kirtan and other forms of devotional music had been arranged. This is Master's life, Master giving about a story about the love of the Radha for Sri Krishna. The songs centered around the Vrindavan episode of Sri Krishna's life. The theme was Radha's peak because of Sri Krishna's having visited Chandravali, another gopi, another of the gopis of Vrindavan. Radha's friend tried to console her. Why you are unhappy? You are peaked. Why? So you don't like Sri Krishna has gone there and Sri Krishna becomes happy. Don't you become happy seeing Sri Krishna? It seems you are not thinking of Sri Krishna's happiness. Why you are picked? You think of only for your own happiness. Then Srimati Radha said, no, I am not angry at his going to Chandravali's grove. But why should he go there? She does not know how to take care of him. Chandravali does not know how to take care of Sri Krishna. That is what I am thinking. I am not jealous of Chandravali and that Sri Krishna, my beloved, is visiting another woman. It is a very gross example. But still, we have to understand, this Radha is telling, Srimati Radha, the number one beloved of Sri Krishna, is telling, I am not jealous of his visiting the other woman's grove. I am thinking she does not know how to take care of him. I am concerned about his suffering, his unhappiness, because the way I can take care, this me and mine, that is also there in this divine love. Ma Jashoda used to take care of Sri Krishna. He knew that Sri Krishna is not that ordinary baby, but still, if I don't feed, who will feed Sri Krishna? They are praying to God, oh God, save us. At the same time, they are taking care of the God also, as the small baby, who will take care of God. It happens. You see, Dasharatha was the father of Ramchandra. Dasharatha knew it is not an ordinary bred boy. It is born of the mother's womb as his son. It is not. He did one sacrifice, and this divine bodies came from the sacrifice, and the God said that, yes, you give this divine bodies, feed it with it your wives, and they will have children. So, he knew Ramchandra, but still he was telling, if anything happens to Ramchandra, I have to protect, I have to protect. So this kind of feeling is there in the case of father, mother, those who love. They think, they become forgetful of the divinity of their object of love. So Sri Krishna, Sri Ramakrishna was giving this, that Srimati Radha was telling that I do not begrudge Sri Krishna's going to Chandravati, but my sorrow is that Chandravati does not know how to serve him. As she does not know how to serve him, Sri Krishna may be suffering. That is why I feel sorry. My sorrow is not the cause of his visiting another lady, another one of my friends. Look at this attitude. Sri Ramakrishna repeatedly pointed out this. So these are gross examples of describing the divine love through human love. But still we do not have any separate language, separate words to describe all these things. And in Sri Ramakrishna said that Teen Tan, in the Gospel, there is that love for this three things, three pull, this attraction is very strong in the society. We see this husband's love for his wife, chaste wife's love for the husband, and the miserly people's love for the wealth, money. They won't spend any, even for the family they won't spend. These miserly people are like that. They love wealth, money so much. This is to another love of mother for the child. If one can make these three love together, then combined force of that love will make one have the God vision. You see, Sri Ramakrishna is giving that if you want to see God, yes, you can see. Tintan accolade, these three pulls, three types of attraction, love, pull. This he has given these examples we find in the society. Miserly people we know, they will die for the money. They don't think that I give the money, what is there? I have, it is not even 1% of my accumulation. Let them know. They will fight to save that money, and in the process they may die even. They love money more than their lives. This is miserly people. Mother's love for the child. Mother can give up her life. A mother can face tiger, a lion to save the life of the child. And husband and wife, chaste wife's love for husband and husband's love for wife also. It is so strong that if this three kind of pull, loving bond can be united, blended together, that united joint love, force of that love can make the devotee, the God realization. It is para bhakti is like that. It cannot be described with anything worldly love, but we have to use this expression. Such expressions will be found not only regarding the relation of the gopis of Sri Krishna, in the mystic literature, in the Christian literature also it is there, that they love to worship God as their beloved, that kind of, in the Christian mystics also, there is there in the Christian literature. Such a vocabulary is used because that is the only means by which such ideas can somehow be conveyed. This, why so many times this is talking? Because this divine love is something that we cannot think of. So people become, they fall in trouble after reading the stories of Sri Krishna in Vrindavan Lila. They take it in its gross value, its appeal. They do not understand its subtlety, its purity. Sri Ramakrishna speaks of several kinds of love. Sri Ramakrishna has given the example that there are three kinds of love: sadharani, samanjasa, and samartha. Sri Ramakrishna speaks that sadharani is, there are this several types of love, which one is the highest. Sri Ramakrishna gives that example. Sri Ramakrishna speaks of the several kinds of love: sadharani, samanjasa, and samartha. This number one is sadharani, in the first, which is ordinary love, sadharan, common love. The lover seeks his own happiness. We love somebody else because that gives me happiness. If I don't get happiness, then I will not love somebody, something. Why we eat food? Because I get taste. That is my love for food, is that because I become happy by taking the food or wine, whoever it is. There's those who are smokers, they become so happy. If there is no smoke one day, they cannot concentrate their mind. They become very disturbed. Nothing they feel. Give a smoke, oh God, one cigarette or one. Those who love wine, give them they don't like money or other thing, good food. Give a little, serve with one glass of wine or liquor, this alcohol. Oh, they are so happy. So world is like that. We become happy. We love something because by having that, we feel happy. So first is ordinary love, when the lover seeks his own happiness. He does not care whether the other person is happy or not. This is ordinary love. That was Chandravali's attitude. This master was describing that Chandravali, Radha's friend, towards Sri Krishna, because Chandravali was happy. Seeing Sri Krishna, she became happy. So, second is, in the second, which is a compromise. Both, it is samanjasa, compromise. Both seek each other's happiness. This is a noble kind of love. This is also good, not completely selfish. But the third is the samartha, the highest of all. Such a lover says to his beloved, be thou happy, be happy yourself, whatever may happen to me. Radha has this highest love. She was happy in Sri Krishna's happiness. She was happy in Sri Krishna's happiness. The gopis too had attained this exalted state, says Sri Ramakrishna. And the story is there in the Gospel, that Radha's love is the highest one, most sublime. There is no iota of touch of any selfishness there, selfish motive. So these three types of love, Sri Ramakrishna said. And in divine love, there is absolutely no selfish motive, because in cases contrary to this, there is not the attitude of being happy by producing happiness in the object of love. In this case, nothing is required for oneself. One's concern is only to make the object of love happy. That is the criteria of this pure love. As Sri Ramakrishna says, using the illustration of the gopis, that they had that supreme love. There are two things in this supreme love. What are these? Minus, mamatta, and amitto, ego. Minus and ego. as a minus in Radha's case, in Ma Jashoda's case. If I do not take care, Krishna is my baby, I have to take care. Ramchandraji's mother, Kaushalya, they knew these are divine babies. Still, who will take care of my baby Ramchandra? So, this is my Ram, my Krishna, this is myness. And another is this ego is Amita. I love God and God is mine. I love God. Who can love me like me? That is always these two things are there in the divine love. So it is a wonderful love which cannot be compared with anything of the world. These two aspects are there in this divine love. The devotee considers his very existence as inseparably connected with the divine. His I means, as Sri Ramakrishna says, the ripe I, which feels I am God's devotee. And myness means God is mine. It is not some kind of ahankara, this egotistic behavior. It is not that, it's I feel that. It is not a show. It comes in this divine love. The first thing is ego, that divine ego. It is not ordinary ego. If I do not serve God, He will be unhappy. We do puja as if God depends on our puja. Swami Vivekananda said Sri Ramakrishna could create thousands, millions of Vivekananda from the dust of the floor. But He has selected me to do these things. What I will do? Anything I am doing, I am not writing this letter. Somebody is writing, means Sri Ramakrishna is holding my hands and I am writing this letter. He was sending different instructions to the brother disciples in India. Don't think these are my words, Sri Ramakrishna's. Without Sri Ramakrishna, he could not think of anything. Srimati Radha, without other than Sri Krishna, could not think of anything. No individuality. So even if ego is there, this ego is the divine ego. A devotee, if I do not serve God, he will be unhappy. A devotee is egotistic, not in the ordinary sense, but because he thinks in this way. And secondly, his feeling that God is his own. So, as we give all attention to the happiness of things that we consider ours, there the attention is focused on the happiness of the object of love. Sri Ramakrishna says that if the awareness of divinity is always there in the mind, then he cannot be served, particularly with the attitude of filial affection and with the affection of the lover. These two very tender forms of affection cannot run side by side with the awareness of divinity. That awareness reduces the intensity and closeness. Therefore, it is kept in the background. It is not that the awareness is not there, as we find in the case of the gopis also. This tender relationship between God and the devotee is a very delicate matter, because it is a sentiment which is never exemplified anywhere else, and those only who have had the experience can understand it. None other than a devotee will be able to understand it. To the extent that we tune our minds to this state of experience, it will be intelligible to us. Otherwise, people will simply taunt the idea. The very idea becomes an object of ridicule. So, in the Bhagavata, the play of the gopis with Sri Krishna is full of very artly vocabulary, and that is why it has become a source of ridicule, particularly so from people who have no idea of the sentiments that are described therein. People think that it is only a debased form of artly love, extolled as a spiritual condition for realization, but that is because of lack of understanding. A lack of sympathy. So, these are the some words of the divine love of the gopis from Sri Ramakrishna. And Swami Vivekananda said, and I quote, it happened in my life also. I used to love the stories of the Bhagavata in pre-monastic life and read some stories. In India, it is not the whole Bhagavata you read, Mahabharata you read. There are small, small books with the stories of Bhagavata, with the stories of Sri Krishna, with the stories of Ramchandra, Ramayana, with stories of Mahabharata. All these are there. But after joining, when I started reading Bhagavata and at the same time, I found that Swami Vivekananda, and I quote here, without the idea ever present in us to study such scriptures as dealing with love will be degrading rather than elevating. That is why Swami Vivekananda did not encourage ordinary people to study such stories of divine love, because they might awaken in immature minds the earthly love with which they are familiar, which is uppermost in them. Only when the mind has been purged of all such base ideas and it has become absolutely pure, does one become competent to understand them and to discuss these things at length. So I stopped reading Bhagavata. Then in Belur Math, when I was in the training center, one of the vice presidents, Swami Gitanandaji Maharaj, he has his brief, a short Bhagavata, giving description and quoting the relevant ones, because 18,000 sloka, it becomes such a big book that ordinary youngsters particularly, they won't read. Who will feel that kind of, where is the time and that kind of leisure and attraction to read such a big volume? So, a small volume. So, after he used to give discourses on Ras Leela, on Ras Purnima, Janmashtami, Chaitanya Dev's birthday. So, thrice in a year we used to take. So, one day I went as a brahmachari in the training center, Maharaj, it was so nice. I used to read Bhagavata, but I stopped. Why, my dear? I said, no, we are young brahmacharis, our mind is not pure. So, Swamiji said, before 40 one should not read. I was at that time 25, 26, like that. If mind is not pure like the gopis, like Chaitanya Dev, one should not read. Those who will read without that pure mind, they will not have good result, rather that will cause bad effect on their mind. So, I said, no, you don't understand. Every chapter it is written, Paramahansa. It is meant for the sadhu santas. It is not, you are a brahmachari, you will not read, we will not read, so who will read? This is not for the grihasthas that they will read, or ordinary people. Any grihastha can read whose mind is pure, and it is for the sadhus, brahmacharis. He will read. So he corrected my mind. So also the Swamiji said, Master also said, those who have mind is not pure, they will not understand the message of stories of Sri Krishna in the Bhagavata described. So again I started reading, and Bhagavata is such a thing. I have seen so many people like Gita discourse, gospel discourse, but when I used to give some Bhagavata discourse for hours, people won't leave. There is a special attraction for these Bhagavata stories. I have seen in our young days also, there are jatras, nataks, theatres. We learned many things. It is not reading the Bhagavata itself, but from the folk stories, folk plays in the different places, this kind of katha-kathas, this going on, dancing, talking, singing, and giving the description. Many things are there, musical performances, dancing performances, and drama. Through all this, we learn the stories of Krishna, Ramji, Bhagavan, all this Ramayana, Mahabharata, many things. Vedas, Upanishads, many stories are there. So, this mind should be pure, and if mind is pure, then the people will understand that divine love of the gopis, otherwise not. For the ordinary seeker, there are other ways to be on the safe side. It is better to think of God as one's father or mother or friend or master. To go beyond brings in difficulty. To avoid pitfalls, therefore, it is better to think of God as father or mother. It is better to start from where we are, rather than trying to jump at the highest. if people start doing this Madhuro Bhavo, means Radha Krishna's love, that may create problem. Because so long the mind is not that pure like Radha, this kind of this sadhana may not bear good fruit, rather it may cause downfall and degradation. So Sri Ramakrishna said that Matri Bhava in this Kali Yuga, this divine love, Narada Bhakti is wonderful. That is the path. But this worshipping God as mother is the purest of all sadhana. So Madhura Bhava is no doubt, this all the bhavas are there in the Madhura Bhava, means worshipping God as my paramour. That is called Madhura Bhava. There are several bhavas, ideas are there, moods are there in this Shanto, Dasya, this Rishi Munis is Shanto, calm and quiet, Dasya, Hanumanji is, and Shakha, Arjunas with Ramchandra, Sri Krishna, and then Vatsalya, this Ma Jashodas to Sri Krishna, then Madhura, this Gopis, Radha to Sri Krishna. So these are all wonderful devotional paths. One can follow anyone, but this Madhura Bhava is very difficult for the ordinary people. There are various attitudes one can have towards God. The attitude that Sri Ramakrishna has mentioned as the safest of all is the attitude of the master and the servant. God is my master, I am his servant. That is very simple attitude. Or if one can rise still higher, one can think of God as one's friend or as one's child. When one thinks of God as the friend, he is almost on the same level as it were. Friendship is always between equals. If one can go still further up, he can think of God as a child. When a child needs protection from his or her parents. Thus, that is how relationships become different, and last and most difficult is the Madhura Bhava, the relation between two lovers that unites the two minds together and makes them one. That is what is called the highest. It is enough to have the complete manifestation of any of these attitudes. It will suffice for God realization as master and servant, or as friend or God, as child and oneself as parent. These relations are capable of producing the deepest realization of God, and the attitude need to be changed. It is not the idea of the scriptures or in practice that one change one's attitude. Go from the relation of the master and servant to the relation of friendship, then to the relation of filial love, that is affection between the parents and children, and then to that between lovers. Such a gradation is not necessary, but any one of them will bring about complete realization of divine love. It is safer for an aspirant to start with the sentiment which he or she can understand and which can be felt readily, so that all energy may be directed wholeheartedly towards that. This is better than imitating another. As a matter of fact, we are all born with some innate tendencies to make it suitable for us to follow one or the other of these attitudes. So it is not that we can choose any one of them. It is ingrained in us. It becomes our constitutional necessity to follow one of these, and any of is sufficient, and any one is sufficient to give us the highest realization. So, next mantra we will start in the next day. We stop here. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Any question?